Egypt, crossroads of the world, cradle of modern civilization, enduring source of fascination. Relics from more than 5,000 years of human history define this country's cultural heritage. They often come to light, piece by piece, and piece by piece, their meaning can be deciphered. Now, many of Egypt's most important treasures are available and accessible to everyone, worldwide. At the press of a button, a new era has begun. For 3 years, the Egyptian government and IBM have worked together on a unique undertaking known as Eternal Egypt. The goal of this project is to create an interactive multimedia experience of Egyptian cultural artifacts, places, and history for a global audience. From the period of the pharaohs to the Greco-Roman epoch, to the Christian and Islamic eras, from the hidden treasures of the Nile Delta to the sands of the Giza Plateau, no one has ever before attempted such an extensive online historical project.
I have attended many conferences talking about cultural heritage and documentation of cultural heritage all over the world. And I was really very proud to see that Egypt, in spite of the wealth of the cultural heritage that we have, that might be the only program all over the world that has this comprehensive way and has this holistic approach, and that contains everything in a nutshell.
Very few companies in the world, actually very few organizations in the world could do this work. Luckily and fortunately, we had IBM really who accepted to fund this project, and we have our partners in the Egyptian government, the Center for Documentation of Cultural and Natural Heritage, CULTNAT, being our partners in this with the Supreme Council of Antiquity and with other parts of the Egyptian government, work on the development of content and bringing their expertise and their knowledge to the mix.
No other technology company had ever undertaken the digital processing and presentation of ancient artifacts of such broad historical and geographic scope, encompassing 5,000 years of history, 4 very different cultural periods, 9 museums, and dozens of archaeological sites throughout Egypt. The first step was to create a digital catalog of the artifacts. It was clear that any compelling virtual experience of Egyptian culture had to rest on a foundation of thousands of high-resolution images and extremely high-quality content. In the spring of 2002, CULTNAT employees were trained to operate the 2D and 3D scanning systems, and the digital capture of the objects commenced. The challenge of presenting such diverse content to a global audience in a usable, exciting way was as formidable as the logistical and technical challenges of the capture phase. To realize the goal of a story-based, multi-sensory experience, a series of technological solutions had to be developed. The Eternal Egypt experience is delivered to people interested in Egyptian culture, no matter where they are. Within the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, visitors can access information via a handheld digital guide. They can walk through the museum at their own leisure, taking predefined tours, or by accessing information about specific objects which interest them. Audio narration generated by IBM's text-to-speech technology guides the way. In this way, within the walls of a real museum, a virtual museum is created. Indeed, the country of Egypt itself is one vast museum. Eternal Egypt offers the digital guide experience outside of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. This museum outside the walls allows tourists to access content from the website while visiting places of historical interest around Egypt.
Visitors to Egypt who go to locations such as Luxor Temple in Luxor or the Giza Plateau where the Great Pyramids are can access tours on their cell phone, images, audio, and text, basically like an audio tour except multimedia and over their cell phone at these locations.
The final element of Eternal Egypt is the website, the virtual museum without walls. More than 2,000 2D scans, 16 3D scans, dozens of multimedia representations, 4 completely navigable virtual environments, and full content in English, French, and Arabic all make this joint venture between IBM and COPNAT one of the most amazing collections of Egyptian information on the web. Several new technologies were developed especially for the website. These include an interactive map of Egypt, which contextualizes artifacts by plotting them geographically and which allows easy browsing of objects located near others. In addition, a timeline of Egyptian history situates artifacts, people, and places in time. The rich variety of innovative search methods is illustrated by Connections, a knowledge map which visually depicts the complex relationships between all the elements of Egyptian history.
Not only the tourists who are going to come to Egypt for a long time, but also people sitting in their homes looking at the website and actually visit the place online and look to everything they want to do. So it's not only going to be for people inside coming only to Egypt, but I think people all over the world.
Millennia ago, the ancient Egyptians understood the importance of preserving and transmitting culture and multimedia. Images, text, and architecture merged into a single experience. Eternal Egypt is much more than just a technology project. It's a living museum, a work of art in its own right, which extends and enhances this noble tradition, documenting, presenting, and delighting audiences the world over.